This is the entry in my father's diary for Sunday, 3rd of September 1939. Pencilled in at the top of the entry is War declared 11:15 a.m. This hour saw the culmination of our peace efforts. At this time the Premier announced a state of war. For 6 years it has been coming, ever since 1933 when Adolf Hitler came to power. For 3 years the present government has sympathised with Nazi ambitions. Now Britain's youth must pay the bitter price of an old man's folly. What changes will be wrought no man can tell. There's only the memory of the last war to guide us who fight now. If the price of freedom and patriotism means death, then all Britain's youth must be prepared to pay it. Those who live would have nothing but the bitter memories of what might have been. Darkened lights and the waiting all lend fear to the imagination. How and when it will come is the thought foremost in the mind of every man and woman, yet more so is the thought, how will it all end? Men, women and children walk through our streets carrying gas masks. Others dig trenches. Back to the days of early man, hiding in holes to avoid death from the air. In many ways it would be better to die than to live in the continual fear of death. Ever more present is the fear of what may happen to those dear to us. Mothers, fathers. Thoughts of self are cast aside by the fear for others belonging to us. It is incredible that in this year, 25 years after 1914, the nations of Europe could prepare and face more years of slaughter. One wonders, is there a God can allow it to continue, for better annihilate mankind? In any case, they will eventually liquidate themselves. As for the business side of life, it just does not exist. Here one faces yet another problem. Which course to adopt, which way to turn. Newspapers are out in this war. Radio, lack of information and price of material renders production almost impossible. Salaries are cut. Yet if one takes an ARP job, what is to happen when the war is over? Your normal job is finished. A more depressing spectacle could not face youth. Hundreds wish to marry, others fear to marry. Better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Time indeed, time while it lasts. But what happens later? A man is married, yet where is his job? How is he to keep his wife? Today we live, tomorrow we may die, same again. Yet tomorrow we may still live, and tomorrow may not be worth living for in a vile, untenable world. For myself, I am just worried. If I die, I die, leaving nothing behind. But what is to be done for my mother, an invalid? How can she exist in this world of rations, fear, and without adequate means? My job today is worth nothing. In the army it is still less, but at least I should not be to feed. And if I was killed, there would not be my burial to pay for. Such thoughts, indeed cold-blooded, are necessary today. But I do not think the army would take me. My body is of little use in modern war. If my brain is any use, then they can use it. Meanwhile, I wait events. I have written JBS, and his reply will determine the course I take. Until then, I am waiting. Joyce's father would, I think, help me to get into an ARP job. £3 a week would be very useful indeed at any time. The future will just have to take care of itself. From JB himself I'll have a letter in reply to mine, a letter amounting to a get moving note. Youth must pay the price to keep old men, done and past use, in expensive positions. I suppose it has always been the way, and doubtless it always will be. More worry to face. In fact, it means the seeking of an entirely new life, a life amidst baseness. There are many hundreds alike. There is really little of value in life today. The individual has passed, and in his place is a vast unwieldy machine of which he is but an unfinished part. The future now means nothing, just something too vague for serious contemplation.